The AP somehow got my personal number and texted harassments at me today. It's opened so many wounds I've worked so hard to mend. I really need support. Maybe advice. I'm sorry if this is a little messy. I am kinda crying right now, trying to get this out. No one I usually talk to about this stuff is available ATM, and I feel so low. At the end of 2023, my long-term partner of 4 years had an emotional affair with a man online. It was short, and lasted for 3-4 weeks. The AP had been a friend of ours for about 6 months at that point, and had become increasingly hostile towards me during the end of 2023 when the affair started. I pointed this out in our usual couple therapy. We have been doing therapy for 2-3 of our relationship because my parents were abusive and toxic, and I wanted to make sure we were maintaining a healthy relationship with healthy because I was terrified of treating my partner the way my parents treated each other. After the couples therapy session, I figured out that something more might be happening and my partner confessed. It almost broke us apart, but because I decided to stay and try to forgive him due to 2 reasons. 1. The affair was short and not physical. 2. The AP was obviously using manipulation tactics to try and trick my partner into an affair, which, honestly, ultimately worked. He gaslighted my partner into believing their close friendship was something more. It's a whole thing. We're both still in therapy. I am a survivor of a cult, and recognize the manipulation gaslighting tactics the AP was using on him. I found and read through all of their conversations. Suffice to say, all of it was very traumatic for me. Part of the agreement to try and mend our relationship was complete and utter cut off of the AP and the AP's husband. Yes, I told the AP's husband what happened. Proof. AP husband knew about the affair and didn't tell me. Yes, it was fucked up. Before I go on, I should note that the AP and their husband were both men. While I am female, and my partner is male, we are both pansexual, bisexual, and members of the LGBTQ community. We simply are in a straight-fronting relationship. Their primary source of communication was through a social media app used for gaming like Skype, Discord, etc. We both blocked AP and AP's husband through any and all forms of online communication that we could. My partner also blocked their real-life phone numbers. Unfortunately, they did manage to find a few ways to continue to contact us. Each time they contacted me, it was to harass me with sexist insults and slander, calling me very female-focused slurs. When they contacted my AP, it was to try and convince him to make the right choice and leave me for them. Turns out the AP had some major mental issues, actually was diagnosed as sociopathic, and well, they got a little obsessed. It pretty much continued until we were able to basically block them from all known forms of communication with them. We even blocked their Reddit accounts. My last correspondence with this posthuman and his husband was to stop trying to contact us or we would consider it harassment. It went silent after that. Until today. This morning, on the gaming platform, a mutual friend of me and my partner's left a group chat that contained the AP in it. When someone leaves, you get a notification that they did, which brought me to the trap and a reminder of the AP's existence. I didn't realize that the AP can actually still see my posts even if I have them blocked, which is really stupid emo. Anyway, I posted some snarky comment along the lines of, "Thanks friend name here for reminding of the existence of this awful human being," and left the group chat. Perhaps dumb of me, but I have only just begun to heal from this awful experience. I was the one person out of 3 people who was victimized and humiliated. The one person whose feelings was never considered. The one person not even treated like I was human. Just an object to overcome. It felt good to speak up for myself and, I thought, just virtually scream into the ether. About 3 hours later, I received the most viscous and disgusting text message I've ever gotten over my phone from an unknown number. It's kind of long, but I'll summarize the text. "I'm so happy to know that your home is so wrecked and that I'm living in your head rent-free. I get it's hard to have to worry about your partner doing things behind your back, because you are such an insufferable CT that he needs emotional gratification from someone else. I'm living my best life. FYI, you can't file a retraining order if you haven't stopped communicating. I thought about going the other way, but it's way more fun to fuck with you more than I already am. Knowing you, something probably happened and you're looking for someone to lash out your anger on. Maybe get a new psychiatrist? Laughing emoji. Thanks for the lols. See you when you decide to reach out again." I have no idea how the fuck he got my personal cell phone number. As far as I know, I never gave it out. It scares the shit out of me that this psycho was able to get a hold of it. Honestly, wish I'd never said anything and just silently left the groups. I didn't realize they could still see the messages. I feel so dumb. I've just been crying for an hour or so now. I don't understand how someone can be so cruel to another. We're all LGBTQ. We're supposed to be a goddamn community that supports each other. The reason he mentions anger issues is this was a narrative he spun in order to manipulate and try to turn my partner onto me. My partner at the time of the affair was at a height of stress as he was finishing a very hard semester of college and working part-time. His days were easily 14-hour days and he was working weekends for extra cash. He was severely stressed out because of the class schedule he had. On top of that, he was often sleep deprived because he'd refused to go to bed at a reasonable hour. so he could fit some time in to hang out with our mutual friends. You know what they say, either sleep, work, school, or social life gets sacrificed. There wasn't actually anything wrong between us other than minor issues that were being addressed in couples therapy at the time. The AP tried to twist the narrative that my partner was actually stressed out by trying to frame me as the source of the stress. The AP would actively provoke me at hangout sections by preying on my past and gaslit me to the point where he was making me question myself. I have been in therapy for 9 years since becoming an adult, working on myself, to make sure that I never turn out to be an abusive person like my mother and father were. I have worked damn hard to be a good person and treat others with kindness and respect. But the AP knew about this past, and would actually create situations to make me think and second guess myself. Only after speaking with my personal therapist, did I realize what this boss was up to, and this is what led to the discovery of the affair itself. Even after all this time, he's still trying to frame it as if I have anger problems. It's opened so much pain for me. Because of my childhood, I already have a hard time trusting literally anyone. I've been hurt by so many people who are supposed to love me unconditionally. It took me 2 years to even fully trust my own partner right now, and that was with constant therapy and carefully making sure that I am not a problem. Since the affair, my libido has been killed. I have no interest in intimacy. I still very much love my partner, and we are still working to mend our relationship. We recently got to a really good place, and I was feeling like this was actually working and that I was okay. I just don't understand, after everything I've done to be a good partner, how my partner could have sought out the affection of this sadistic monster. Someone who went out of their way to wish me more pain, to hurt me. I would never, ever do this to anyone. Ever. I would never seek to hurt someone like this. I just don't understand how I got here. I trusted my partner implicitly, and I understand that to some degree, this sociopath was a predator seeking prey, and I understand that. I do. But it doesn't make the pain any less. How can someone be so cruel? I know I am not the problem. I know that I am not the one who did something wrong. I know I didn't deserve this. Logically I know this. But deep inside, it makes me feel like I deserve this. Like it doesn't matter how hard I work, that I'm somehow an awful person. He fucked with my head so much. It doesn't really matter how much my therapist tells me that I did everything I was supposed to, or that none of this was my fault. There's a part of me that quietly whispers that this is happening to me because I left the cult, because I don't believe in God. I know that isn't true. I believe in science. I believe that the universe doesn't have some insane God out to get you. It's like I'm fighting with my own programming. Anyway, sorry I've tangented, pouring out my heart. I am still in therapy and still healing. Still, I don't know what to do. I don't know how this person got my personal phone number. I am not even sure I can justifiably file a harassment report now either. I didn't realize when I sent that message that he could see it. The plan right now is to basically just go on and hope he doesn't contact me anymore. But I hate living with the fear that he will try to continue the harassment. What can I do? Does anyone have any advice? And further, does anyone have a similar experience that they can give advice on? I hate feeling this way. I just want to move on. I don't want to think about any of it anymore. I was in such a good place. How am I supposed to move on when this asshole keeps targeting me and my partner? Waiting for my M29 Canadian spouse sponsorship, but my wife F23 had such a heavy behavior shift. How do I fix this? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I'm a 29-year-old expatriate Arab male, and lived in the United Arab Emirates for my entire life. Currently working at a bank's contact center because it pays the just fine and managed to make my life comfortable even though sometimes it feels like such a dehumanizing job. I met my now wife Chinese and lived in Canada her whole life back in 2020 COVID days through an online game. At first our friendship was platonic. Even though we clicked very well and shared the same humor and interests, we would often stop talking for a while and then casually again pick off where we left things. Because at the same she was in a very manipulative relationship, so her talking to other guys was a no-no to her ex. Eventually they break up and on April 2023 we officially started dating and things were perfect. I swear we were the cutest couple that other people would cringe if they just see how madly in love we were. We only grew more affectionate and our life goals aligned perfect with each other. She eventually visited me Earl for the first all the way from Canada to UAE around September 2023 and things between us were even more amazing in real life. We never argued or had a falling out at all. I loved how she was attached and clingy to me, because I was more than happy to give her all the attention she wanted. When she had to travel back to Canada, we were already planning for the next visit. That's when we came up with the idea of getting married on our second visit. That way she could have me move to Canada with her. So she visited again Feb 2024 and I introduced her to my family, and they all loved her. So we got married. Important note that she did not tell her mom and dad that we did. Her mom knows about me and approves, but she did not tell her we got married yet after she headed back home. We immediately started the spouse sponsorship process by hiring an immigration lawyer. We prepped documents and I did biometrics, medical exams etc. etc. Right now we are waiting for the 3-6 months waiting time to get it approved. She did all of the heavy lifting financially and refused to let me help out with the lawyer fees, which was not cheap at all. But she lived with her parents at a house they fully own and told me it was okay because she saved up a lot. Reality hit her as she started to feel the financial stress, because she lives in an expensive city in Canada and her mom does not wish to see her daughter move somewhere far from her. So since we are going to be moving out to an apartment in one of the most expensive parts in Canada, she started sacrificing a lot of things to prepare while we wait for the PR to get approved. She started by giving away her first car, which was a very expensive sporty car that she was really attached to, because the monthly payments for the leasing was too much and wanted to be financially responsible and traded in with a more economical sedan which she dislikes very much. That's when things started snowballing for her, because that car was her youth and she started telling me that giving away that made her feel the weight and responsibility of being married and how she would have to start being more careful with her spending. Because when I move out, I'm not guaranteed to find a job right away. So that means she will be carrying us financially until I get stand up on my feet, even though I'm also saving as much as I can with my job so I won't be a complete burden. But still that wouldn't ease up her stress. Over the past 3 weeks she started talking to me differently, like I know the honeymoon phase ended. But she really stopped showing me affection as much as she used to, and whenever she answers my call, her hello or hey always sounds like she doesn't want to be there. She would also start saying that she has been feeling she has been doing nothing during her weekends, because all she did was stay home and play video games with me or watch a show together. She would always put off plans with friends or family because I only have one day off week and wanted to make sure that she spends that day with me. And look, I have no problems with her not being cooped at her house all week for my sake. I want her happy. So I encouraged her if that's what she wants to do then it's okay. Because we have our whole life ahead of us since we are married, so one day off not spent with her is fine because soon I will be living with her forever at some point. I've been living in a state of constant anxiety, because this whole behavioral shift started 3 weeks ago. I'm anxious as hell, because the way she talks to me really gave me a strong feeling that she regrets getting married to me and like she had to let go some things just for us to be together. I understand the amount of pressure and financial burden she's going through, but I'm scared that she will stop fighting for us. Then it only got worse, because during Canada Day, she was having dinner with her parents and brother, and her dad brought up the topic of her getting married, and started saying that the ideal man should be very ambitious, financially stable and Chinese so he can communicate with the family properly. This added fuel to the fire, because we're scared that when she tells him about me, especially being a lowly call center agent which is looked down upon some cultures, he would never approve of me. There's another family dinner planned this Sunday on the 7th and she told me she will bring up everything about us excluding the marriage part, because she will tell them that I'm moving to Canada via a work visa, and told me that she will try her best to convince her dad that I'm the one she wants to spend her life with. Despite what she told me though, she's growing more distant from me. Her responses are often very cold and dry. I often see her online on Discord when she's out at work but doesn't say much to me. My brain is constantly playing tricks on me, making me believe that she could be cheating or preparing to end things with us. I have been cheated on in my last relationship where my ex was sexting 9 different people over the course of a year, so I have some trust issues and my gut feeling is not something I know I can rely on, because I have no solid proof. It's a complete 180 how I feel like this time. I'm the one who's clingy and attached, except my partner this time is not there to give me a bit of assurance or make me feel wanted at all. I'm just lost and confused because we never arranged ever since we started dating, and every idea we had for our future aligned with each other, so we never had disagreements or different dreams. I'm really not in a good mental state, because this spiraling down and fear of losing the best thing that has ever happened to me put a huge weight on my shoulders. I was at 74 kilograms 163 pounds and over the course of 1 week only I'm now at 68.5 kilograms 151 due to the amount of anxiety and stress I've been drowning myself in. I have no appetite, barely sleep 4 hours each day, and I'm constantly on the verge of breaking down and crying. I don't know what to do.